For 300,000 years, the most dangerous moment of the human day wasn't facing a predator head-on. It wasn't the hunt, the storm, or the freezing cold. It was sunset. The 2 hours after the light died were a lethal window of time, an evolutionary choke point that nearly wiped our species out, and the bizarre behavioral glitch your ancestors invented to survive those 2 hours, it is still running inside your brain right now. Tonight, when the sun goes down, you're going to feel it. Most people will call it tiredness, boredom, or a sudden urge to check their phone. But it's actually a 300,000-year-old survival instinct with nowhere left to go. Why does your energy crash at sunset, even indoors, under blazing electric light, when you slept perfectly fine? Why, in every culture across the globe, do humans feel an irresistible psychological pull toward fire the second darkness falls? That isn't a random habit, and the explanation is hard-coded into a biological vulnerability that triggers the moment you turn on your TV. During the day, early humans were untouchable. We were the smartest apex predators on the savannah. Nothing could outthink us. Then, the sun dropped, and the entire ecosystem inverted. Lions, leopards, and hyenas, predators built for the dark, with night vision our ancestors completely lacked, took over. For a few hours, every single night, humans went from the hunter back to the hunted. But survival required a radical psychological shift. When anthropologists embedded themselves with the Hadza hunter-gatherers, one of the last societies on Earth living exactly like our ancestors, they recorded thousands of hours of daily conversation. They discovered a bizarre behavioral anomaly. During the daylight, almost every single conversation was strictly practical: food, tools, territory. But the moment the sun went down, an internal switch flipped. Over 80% of nighttime conversation transformed into something else entirely. Storytelling, myths, gossip, and deep emotional vulnerability. Daylight was for surviving. Darkness was for connection. Fire didn't just keep predators away. It did something no other tool in human history had ever achieved. It created guaranteed hours with absolutely nothing to do but sit face to face and talk. No food to gather, no tools to build, no physical tasks pulling your attention away. Just human faces, firelight, and voices in the deep dark. This nightly ritual is the exact reason human language, abstract thought, and storytelling evolved at such a terrifyingly fast pace. The campfire wasn't just a source of physical warmth, it was the original social network. And this ancient programming runs so deep that it completely alters your modern biology. As daylight fades, your brain releases melatonin. But modern science shows this hormone doesn't just make you sleepy. It quietly shifts your neural pathways away from sharp, logical, defensive thinking and opens up your emotional centers. This biological shift is the exact reason confessions happen at midnight instead of noon. It's why breakups are argued through at 1 a.m. and why thoughts you'd hide during the day suddenly pour out in the dark. Your ancestors weren't just hiding from predators after sunset. Biologically, they were becoming softer, more honest, and heavily driven to bond. And you still become that exact same person every single night. The only difference is you have no one to sit in the dark with anymore. This isn't just a tragic fact about modern loneliness, it is significantly worse than that. Because while you might not notice this 300,000-year-old evolutionary vulnerability running inside you every evening, Silicon Valley did, and they turned it into a weapon. Look at the data for when global social media activity spikes hardest every single day. It isn't random scrolling, it clusters heavily in the exact hours your ancestors would have been gathered around the fire. App developers didn't create this late-night behavior, they intercepted it. They realized that right around sunset, the human brain enters a hyper-suggestible, vulnerable state, where your logic engine cools down and your deep evolutionary craving for tribal connection peaks. So, they engineered a digital substitute. They designed the infinite scroll to mimic the hypnotic, flickering movement of a wood smoke and glowing embers. They designed comment sections to feel like a global tribe answering your voice. Anthropologists call what we lost the destruction of communal darkness, the shared unlit hours where a group existed together with nothing to perform, nothing to buy, and nowhere to hide. Modern technology didn't just add light to our nights, it privatized the dark. Now you have your own room, your own screen, your own private glow 3 feet from your face, while the person in the next room scrolls their own private glow 3 feet from theirs. Same house, separate fires. Your brain is actively screaming for a nightly ritual of human connection, and tech platforms are feeding it digital fast food to keep you awake, and monetization loops running. That restless, itchy feeling you get right before bed isn't insomnia. It is an active rejection of the modern world by a piece of biological hardware that is 300,000 years old. Every ancient myth, every midnight confession, and every piece of deep, unedited trust belongs to the dark. They always have. We built a world with zero danger left after dark, but in the process, we built a world where we spend the night completely exposed to algorithms and completely hidden from each other. Tonight, when the sun goes down, you are going to feel that familiar, quiet pull to reach for your screen and kill the silence. But remember what is actually happening. You aren't just looking at a phone. You are staring into a corporate ghost of the campfire, and you are sitting around it, entirely alone. If your brain is still running on this ancient hardware, hit subscribe, because we are about to decode the rest of your daily biological glitches in our next video.